Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, talking fishing. If it's facts about fishing that you want to know, then tune in, folks, cause this is the show. We'll show you all the right bait to use, so sit right back, you got nothing to lose. Doesn't really matter if it's trout or carp, flathead, marlin or a gummy shark. Listen to the guys and you can't go wrong. They'll be talking about fishing till the cows come home. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Welcome everyone to Talking Fishing, another big show coming your way tonight. And if you missed the headlines last Saturday, the Age newspaper ran a front cover story claiming that Hazelwood Power Station would shut down as early as April next year. We'll talk more about that tonight and the effect on the Barramundi fishery. Also tonight, all the details for Mates Day, National Gone Fishing Day. Will Toolondo get water soon? All that and more. So let's get into it with a big welcome to the man who travels by kayak, Adam Ring. Welcome, Ads.
Thanks, Dave. And I'm particularly excited this week because we caught up before the show and you reminded me that daylight savings is next week.
It starts on Sunday. Daylight savings is such a good time of year. Oh. You heard it first on Talking Fishing because everyone else has forgotten about it. And it's also a very big welcome to the man all the way from Shepparton, the one and only Stephen Victor Trelford. Welcome, Trelly.
Thank you very much, David.
Good to have you here again, two weeks in a row.
Yeah, that's a record.
We were just talking about the public holiday this Friday, boys.
That's right. Public holiday.
It is a public holiday. Many people will want to get away and go fishing to their favourite destinations, and we might talk about some of those destinations later on in the show. But Trelly's unsure whether his shops are actually open on Friday. Shepparton's open, isn't it?
Shep's open.
Is the grand final, and well done to the Western Bulldogs, we should say too. I think 20,900 days, I think it is, that since they were in a grand final.
So they're due. What you're trying to say is they're due.
They are.
Yeah,
they're due.
And I hope they will. I think the whole of Victoria is behind the Western Bulldogs. So even though there is that little touch of South Melbourne in Sydney, but I think most people are, But Charlie, up the bush, Shepparton. Are people excited about the AFL grand final?
Oh, they do. They do get behind it. I'll tell you what, the game, we were just talking about the game on the weekend, how close it was. And we said that even if you're not a football fan, you just had to sit down and watch it. That's right. It was a cracker. But they have all sorts of parties here.
And so is it a public holiday in Shepparton on Friday?
Yeah, no, it's a public holiday.
Oh, it is? The whole of Victoria?
I'll probably be up there.
Not just the city.
Drinking a nude, I'd say, watching the grand final.
Well, talking about that, there's fans from probably all over Australia, Barry, for the Western Bulldogs. Certainly there was a bit of a news clip. People from Wodonga, I think, were great fans of the Western Bulldogs, and actually there's a little bit of a side effect there. You were in Wodonga on the weekend, Charlie, I think. Hang on. Charlie, were you in Wodonga on the weekend celebrating the Bulldogs' victory? They're in the grand final, Charlie. You can tell you are excited there.
Well, I am happy the doggies are in the grand final. Yes. Good on you, idiots.
People just take photos over you.
Right?
Wow. They catch you on a Saturday afternoon in that lazy position on the park bench. They just send them into us.
Catch up me beauty sleep somewhere, don't I?
Boys, the fishing's starting to hot up, and I know the weather is so up and down. I mean, we have a day of 19, 20, then you have a day of 13. It's just up and down. But when it's up, isn't the fishing? People have got a sniff of it. There was some good snapper caught on the weekend.
Some great snapper from the weekend, which we've been hanging out for. So it's great to see.
It's the other thing is the trout. There's lots of trout being caught. Charlie, I haven't heard much about the native scene. A cod, I know it's not cod season, but Eildon, are people just not going now? Have they stopped? I don't know. What is it?
Snapper goggles are on,
you can fish the Murray from about 1 kilometre away at the moment. And the Goulburn, because it's in flood at the moment. So, so it's a little bit hard. But look, we're getting a few reports back on Yellow Belly, mainly big baits and mainly the lakes like Ranga Basin, Nellacooty, Eildon, those sort of places.
When you say big baits, what sort of baits?
Oh, just big scrubworms.
Okay.
A little size 2 hook and just hang a big scrub worm, make sure he's got a bit of movement and arms and legs going here and there.
Yeah, so, there you go. Boys, let's have a look at what's being caught by the people at home. It's time for Catch of the Week.
Catch of the Week, brought to you by Shimano, providing reliable, trustworthy, quality fishing gear for your enjoyment.
And let's kick it off with some nice snapper. The first one came from Western Port aboard Think Big Charters. Well done to Sean Ferdier for getting a few of his regular customs out. And Colin Sires, that's a cracker looking fish, isn't
Beautiful
it?
fish, isn't
nice
it?
looking fish.
Nice, clean, healthy, new season snapper into the
Another rough
bay.
day out on the port too, by the look at things.
And that's what I mean, like we get some brilliant days, and I mean, bit cloud in the background there, but you get some brilliant days, and then the next minute it all turns pear-shaped.
How many snapper? What's your bag limit on snapper, Dave?
3 over.
That snapper looked like he was the fourth one, didn't he? He had a grin on his face. He was going back.
I don't think he was going back. I don't think he was going back, but anyway. Another snapper coming from the Western Port, Coronella actually. I'll start
That's
again.
a big fish.
Coronella, actually. Joshua Weston got a nice 5.97 kilo off Coronella. Scotty Harper went out on the weekend, and he also said the car park was just about full. So people are getting a sniff.
That's
all right.
a nice fish, isn't it?
That's a cracker
Looks
for a
big,
young
doesn't
fella,
it?
isn't it?
For just a
He's only
touch under
3 foot
6
tall,
kegs.
Yeah, that's right. He's only 2 years of age. He's being propped up in the corner. But anyway, it's all good. Not only is there some good snapper in, around, but some beautiful calamari as well. And Finney Culmer headed down there. He headed down to the Portsea Pier and, take note, with his fishing rod from the Casey Fields Kids Fishing Day the week before.
Yes.
So he was on the trout one week. And the next weekend he's on the Portsea Pier on the calamari.
That's fantastic to see.
How good is that for Finney?
That's
good work,
great
Finney.
to
Get
see.
your mum to buy a new pair of pants. They're worn out, those ones.
Charlie, you can actually pay $300 and get that hole already put into the jeans when you buy them.
What for?
Yep. No, they rip that hole in there and charge you an extra $100 for putting the hole in.
Darn it, I say.
Let's keep on the calamari theme and the kids theme. And Nathan Hamilton is another one of our catches of the week this week. A lovely big calamari caught down the southern end of.
Twice the size of him.
Yeah, southern end of Western Port there. So whether it's boat based, land based, there's certainly some big calamari down that end of the bay. So it's pretty good. Yeah.
Nice catch, Nathan.
Let's head inland now, and the Eildon Pondage. I know the rivers are now open, although a lot of the rivers, like you just said, are in flood, Trelly, and very hard.
open.
Very open,
Yeah, very hard to fish. And while it's hard to fish in the rivers, it's also very, very good to get some big trout in Eildon Pondage. And Jackie Rankin got up there last weekend, a 53 centimetre rainbow trout from Eildon Pondage. That's a cracker of a fish.
Great
That's
fish.
nice, yeah.
How good's that stripe of crimson down the side?
Yeah.
A nice pink
Yeah.
cheek.
Yep.
Beautiful.
They're in good nick, aren't they?
They are.
It's just.
Well
They've
looked after.
probably come. Yes, they've been eating a smorgasbord of lobster and prawns and scallops, just dining on the
Best of the
food that
best.
those boys give them at Snobs Creek, and then get led into the pondage. Yeah. So no, they do well. And lucky last, another trout. Let's keep with the trout theme. A brown trout this time, 1.2 kilos. Jake Wickens from Murrelbark headed up to the Goulburn River at Thornton, a lovely brown there. So
It's a dark fish, isn't it?
yeah, it might have been out of the water for a little bit.
Yeah.
Black head on him and
They
a bit of hook jaw.
Sometimes get a bit like that. So
Yeah, not
That's
Jake.
awesome. Great fish. 1.2 kegger for a trout. It's great.
It's a nice fish.
so the rivers are in flood and they're very difficult. I mean, it takes a few weeks to settle, doesn't it, Trelly? From these
it
rains
does,
that we've had, and I think there's more rain on the way now.
Yeah, I suppose they have
Yeah.
some pretty nasty weather the next couple of days.
I think Shep's expecting well over an inch in the next few days, so yeah, it's not looking good for the weekend.
So how long can you say we get this downpour in the next couple of days?
Yep.
How long till it gets back to fishable or easily fishable?
Oh, it's probably a couple of weeks, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the time it gets through the system.
Just before we go on, I should say, if you'd like to send in a pic of your catch of the week, this is what you have to do.
If you want to be like me and have your photo on TV, email your fishing pic to info@ifish.com.au.
So one of the things is, boys, is that the ground is so wet.
Yeah.
That virtually every bit of rain now runs off, doesn't it?
Exactly.
There's no soaking in anymore. It is soaked.
That's right. And the farmers aren't watering any water like they were this time of year, last year.
Yeah.
So everything goes in the catchment, which is great.
Yeah. Do you think I actually had a look through, I think it's the Goulburn Broken Catchment Management Authority levels today. I was looking at Lake Eildon, which is at 64% now and on a steady rise. But a lot of the lakes, go and have a look, just Google Lake Eildon percentage or level. Lake Eildon level will do. Google that, get onto all the reservoirs in that catchment, and there's a lot sitting at 100%.
Yeah, and even over, you'll find William Hovell and Buffalo.
There's a lot at 100 and 102.
There's 102, 103%.
What's that mean? It's spilling over a wall or something?
Yeah, obviously that's coming into the top more than it's sort of out the bottom. So it's
Plenty of water around. Coming up on Talking Fishing Product of the Week, and we have all the details for Mate's Day right after this.
Talking fishing.
We know what you'd rather be doing.
We know what you've really got in mind.
We know you'd rather be out fishing. And today's the day you're gonna wet a line. 'Cause every day's a good day.
Stop wishing.
Every day's a chance to drift away. Drift away.
Every day's a good day for fishing. See you down at Tackle World today.
Product of the Week, brought to you by Tackle World.
Talking fishing.
And it is time for Product of the Week. And guess what Product of the Week is? Fishing shirts, Ads.
Yes.
Get into it.
Dave, the old fishing shirt, you've seen quite a few over the last few years, but these would have to be the best looking fishing shirt I've ever seen. The boys up at Tackle World there have done an insane job on getting some of the latest and greatest images of some of your favourite species onto these very attractive shirts. As you can see, Trelly and I both kitted out in our little... But lots and lots of species this time around. So they've gone above and beyond. So I've got the snapper one here, which is, for us in Victoria, would have to be one of the, I guess, the more popular species, which probably doesn't really need any explanation, really. And Trelly, you've got the brim shirt there
the brim
as
one,
well. Yep, that would have to be the other hugely popular one there, which is, again, a Victorian staple.
That's right.
For what we're doing.
Yep.
So that's the first two there. Trelly, we didn't forget about the native species this time either. So you've got what have you got there? A yellow belly?
Is that a large yellow belly?
Yeah, it's a fat bum yellow belly.
And I've got the Australian bass there too, which is a species through stocking, Dave, is going to become huge in Victoria with Blue Rock and Glen Maggie and places like that. So the old Australian bass gets a mention before, which I haven't seen too many.
Now, these
bass
are actually
shirts around.
images from a famous artist.
They are.
Do you know his name?
No.
No.
I'm glad you brought that up.
It's probably printed on his.
I was hoping you knew.
I think his name's Chris Chu. Or he might be called Chris Louis sometimes, but I think his name's Chris Chu. Jeff Hook.
So there you go.
There is some famous bloke who's done all these images. Well, they're photos, I think. I don't think they're images. I think they're photos. I've got the Mangrove Jackie.
And
but we've got no idea what his name is.
No, so he's done really well. Mulloway and Flathead. I've got the stretched out Mulloway over my guts.
Is that a Mulloway?
There, that's a Mulloway.
And you got a squid.
He's chasing a little calamari there. Well, that's the detail that goes into these shirts.
Yeah.
Every species has got their natural food source in the photo as well. The flatty there's chasing a little bit of fresh air and a potty mullet. So that's a cracker. That's the flatty one. There is a couple up there for the boys up north. Trelly, there's the Barramundi, which stuck in a snag there again, chasing a little mullet or
always a popular one.
Few soft plastic or something.
How good is the girl's colour?
Look at that! I know. Well,
they didn't have a size for me, but anyway.
Yeah. This is how popular the Barramundi.
You can wear that in a nightclub, Trelly.
Me?
Yeah.
What? Nothing else?
No, nothing else. The pink one. Look good on you.
That's got
no one would hit me, would they?
No.
They haven't forgotten about the ladies, so well done on that one. And last but certainly not least, Spanish mackerel, a bit of a species of the month. They go absolutely crazy for these up north in season. So there's the Spanish mackerel in the beautiful blue, and Dave, you've got the big mangrove jack stretched out over your guts there.
Stretched it out over the guts. I had a big feed of Chinese before we got here.
But I tell you what, I would not want to be a mullet, because just about every species shirt features a mullet getting eaten. So
yeah, true.
There you go. Pop into your local tackle store and check out the species shirts. They are absolute rippers, all long sleeve, because we are sun smart people, so we're not getting burnt and all that sort of stuff. So there you go. Have a look. You'll see them feature big time over Christmas.
And let's hope you don't come back in your next life as a mullet.
Yeah, that's right. So we're not coming back as a mullet, but we're definitely going to get ourselves a species shirt. There you go. Bit of an easy one.
There you go. That's an easy one. And we're just going to roast away under the spotlights here. But anyway, all good. Boys, it's only a matter of weeks before the great event that is called Mate's Day on the Bay, and we just want to give that a bit of a plug because it is coming up on Sunday the 16th of October. if you want all the details, all the details are on the screen right there. There you go. Mates Day on the Bay, Sunday, 16th of October 2016. Future Fish Foundation needs your boat to make this day a very special day. If you'd like to register, please contact Jack Sargent or Lynette Hogan. And we've actually put all these details up on our Facebook page only a couple of minutes ago. So if you want to get onto our Facebook page, Talking Fishing, all those details are up there. Please, if you've got a boat 5.5 metres or longer, we need help for Mates Day on the Bay. And it's a great event. If you want to know how great it is, let's have a look at what happened at last year's event, Mates Day on the Bay.
I'll tell you what I think, forget it for now, put it behind you, I think it's your round, 'cause you're my mate.
Mates Day 2015, it's been an absolutely fantastic day. The people are out there fishing, the boats are just starting to come in. I've heard there's quite a few being caught. Let's have a look at some of the fish that have been caught now.
'Cause you're my mate, and I will stand by you, you're my mate, and I will stand by you, and in the face of things that could hurt you, you're my mate, and I will stand by you, 'cause you're my mate. 'Cause you're my mate, and I will stand by you, you're my mate, and I will stand by you, 'cause you're my mate.
So, Chuck, beautiful.
Look at that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your help today, guys.
I'll tell you what I think, forget it for now, put it behind you, I think it's your round, 'cause you're my mate.
And what's the haul? Fishing haul? Come on. Come on, mate. Here, mate. Hello. Smile.
Things that could hurt you, you're my mate, and I will stand by you, 'cause you're my mate, and I will stand by you, you're my mate, and I will stand by you, and in the face of things that could hurt you, you're my mate, and I will stand by you, 'cause you're my mate.
You know that is going to be the best eating fish you've ever had. That's a beauty. You see? What would you rather eat, mutton or lamb? Or be like me and eat both, you know? Yeah.
Thank you. You're my mate, and I will stand by you, you're my mate, and I will stand by you, 'cause you're my mate.
There you have it, Future Fish Foundation 2015 Mates Day. What a fantastic day. Back to the studio.
You're my mate, and I will stand by you, 'cause you're my mate.
Great memories, and that was a year ago already. Time flies. The old Mates Day is just a fantastic event,
Great
boys,
event.
and very, very rewarding. Just put that slide back up again. If you want to get in contact with either Jack Sargent or Lynette Hogan, their details are there. And like I said, if you want to get those details off our Facebook page, Talking Fishing, it's up there now. But Sunday the 16th of October, if you've got a boat, you need to be there at 7 o'clock in the morning, launch your boat. Our guests arrive at 8 o'clock. Talking about 200 people, I think, again this year to take out. So it's a big event. And we'll get those people, all our guests and their carers out on the bay and hopefully catch a snapper. So looking like an all right season too. Plenty of 5 and 6 kilo fish around.
Yeah, that's
so
right. Yeah, a lot of good
would be
fish.
very, very nice. Now, that same day, Sunday the 16th of October, just happens to be National Gone Fishing Day. It's the very first, the inaugural National Gone Fishing Day, and we want you to celebrate Australia's biggest fishing event. Mark it on your calendar, and to take part in Gone Fishing Day, it's very easy, and you get a chance to win heaps of great prizes. All you got to do is register for free at allthews gonefishingday.org. and then you've got to go fishing. Simple as that, Trelly.
Easy.
Now tell me a little bit about Gone Fishing Day, because you sit on the AFTA board. Where did it come from? Where did it start?
It originally started probably an idea from the board, but it was probably driven by Alan Hansard, our CEO. And it's proven that fishing is as good as eating good vegetables. It is healthy for you.
Yep.
It's documented to government, and it will also coincide. Our first year of National Fishing Day will probably coincide with the Victorian government recognising fishing in its statutory body.
Yep.
Which should put recreational fishing on the map as far as a legitimate sport, because it's not, and also federally, it should put us on the map also. Now, we've had our MP Anne Ruston, who is also committed to making recreational fishing a recognised sport within Australia, because at the moment it's not. So it doesn't get recognised in a lot of things like such as other organisations. So once it comes under that banner, we actually get counted into tourism figures and things like that. So so it's very significant. So it's come from the boards, come from AFTA with Alan Hansard, and I think it's a great thing.
If you get onto gonefishingday.org, you'll see a list of all the events, and it's by far completed, because there's still a lot of events to be put up there. But
exactly,
it's a great thing for the whole of Australia, and you'll find whether it's tackle shops, fishing clubs, just social groups all around Australia, they've all registered their events, and there's a lot of events going on. But the idea is that you just grab someone who probably hasn't fished before, or is not into fishing, grab them and take them fishing for the day. That's what it's all about, getting people into fishing. It's just going to be a great day.
It's easy.
Up in Shep, Trelly, anything going on up there?
Yeah, we've teamed up with the City Council in Shepparton, so we're doing a day down the lake up there. A number of clubs are doing National Fishing Day with kids. And also, as you mentioned last week, Dave, about getting those grants in for some of the money that's available for some of these fishing clubs, they should jump on board, tied in with National Fishing Day. So there's a lot going on.
Absolutely.
Straight
now,
away.
I know Fisheries Victoria will be holding an event down at Mordialloc Pier, I believe. I haven't got a lot of detail on that, but there will be an event on Mordialloc Pier on that Sunday, the 16th of October. So please do yourself a favour. Write it on your calendar now that Gone Fishing Day is on Sunday the 16th of October. There's all the details, and we'll try and get that up on our Facebook page and share it a little bit too.
No fishing licence.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
No fishing licence required on that day if you're fishing in Victoria, and hopefully New South Wales are following the line. Up next, fisheries news, including the effect on Barramundi if Hazelwood Power Station closes down. Next on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing.
Good morning, spotters. Stephanie speaking.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Live from the studios of Channel 31 Melbourne, it's now time for some very fishy news.
Plenty of news this week, boys, and we'll kick it off with some more idiots.
More idiots.
Oh, there's idiots everywhere, I tell you.
Change the name of this little segment.
Yeah, we're going to talk about idiots. Yeah. Night Patrol nets illegal abalone harvest is the headline, boys. Yeah. 3 men leaving a Mornington Peninsula beach have allegedly been found in possession of 169, that's 169 abalone, of which more than 1/3 were undersized. Acting Director of Fisheries Education Enforcement, Brooke Hall, said the men were apprehended by fisheries officers as they left number 16 beach at Rye shortly after 11 p.m. last Thursday. An inspection of the men's 4-wheel drive vehicle revealed the illegal catch. What the hell are they doing there at 11 o'clock at night?
What do you reckon?
Getting abalone, obviously. It's amazing. The men will be charged on summons with taking a commercial quantity of abalone during the closed season, taking abalone from the protected intertidal zone, taking and possessing undersized abalone, and taking abalone after sunset. Do you know all them? All those.
Didn't know the sunset rule.
Yes, you can only take them during the daylight.
Okay.
So, fisheries officers returned all 169 abalone to the water later the same night, given they were still in their shell. However, their survival rate is uncertain. So, I mean, that's disappointing. 169. So, you're allowed 5 each per person on certain days. So what? I'm not going to try that. That's 30 something people's bag limit. You know, like it's just anyway. The media release went on to say fishers may take 5 abalone per day on nominated open days in central Victorian waters. The minimum legal size is 10 centimetres within Port Phillip Bay and 11 centimetres elsewhere in central Victoria waters, including number 16 beach at Rye. So just. It would have been freezing down. It would have been freezing down there, and obviously they're getting a few bucks for them when they're selling them. So there you go. Let's move on to the next one. Excuse me. Amongst, and this is off Facebook, amongst 17 new projects being funded by recreational fishing licence fees is a feasibility study into stocking hatchery-reared flathead fingerlings. The $25,000 project will review current information on sand, rock and dusky flathead to determine whether stocking could support the recovery and enhancement of populations in Victorian bays and inlets. And a lot of people saying that the flathead numbers are down a little bit at the moment in Port Phillip Bay and Western Port, and I think there's a program running similar to this in New South Wales. Where they're actually stocking some flathead.
So they're having the same issues as us in New South Wales.
Yeah. Anyway,
interesting. I do it now. The netting is sort of almost gone too. So, which is good.
Well, you wouldn't do that into bays where they could just net the stocked fish. I don't think. You know.
That's right.
Anyway, so that's a big one. I'm just going to lead into this next one, boys, and it's not good news. But it's speculation too at the same time. And a guy wrote to us on our Facebook page, this is what just really irks me. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to name the individual, but it irks me that people just jump to conclusions about things and just build a story out of nothing. And this guy wrote to us, he says, love the show when I get to watch it. Just wanted to ask about the Hazelwood Power Station closure and the effect on the Barramundi fishery. I can't find any information yet on how it will change the fishery. Love what Fisheries have been doing with all the licence money, just wondering what kind of consultation happened with the power station before this money was invested. I'm only assuming without a power station the fish won't survive. I don't want to open an environmental or loss of job debate, just want to know why did Fisheries not get informed of the potential closure before the project started? And I'm sorry, but that's just an absolute load of rubbish, boys, because I sit on the reference group, and to say that Fisheries didn't know about it, I mean, it's a joke. What people are going to understand is that Hazelwood Power Station is owned by a French company that's part owned by the French government, and these decisions are made outside of Australia. There are 2 people, senior people from Hazelwood Power Station that sit on the reference group that I sit on, and I can tell you they didn't know about it. So to go and accuse Fisheries of wasting money is just an absolute joke, and I'll tell you what, it gets up.
I can see the point of his letter, but
I know, but know the facts before you go and put up in public, Trelly. Seriously.
But he doesn't know the facts, so he's highlighted.
This is the front page of The Age that came out Saturday, and I think we've got a little program there. So Hazelwood shut down near was the front page of The Age on Saturday. It's on the front page of The Age today. Power turmoil. You know, and ABC
should read. You know, Barramundi get the cold shoulder.
So let's talk about the facts. Hazelwood Power Station produces about 25% of Victoria's power. So without it, they need to make sure that the state is capable of having power for starters, because you can't have nursing homes, you know, air conditioning or heating shut down. You can't have that sort of thing. So from a state government perspective, they've got a lot of work to do to say, okay, well, is it feasible to shut down the power station? The news on the ABC, the headline was Hazelwood Power Plant, French owner Engie have made no decision on station closure. So someone at The Age has, you know, made it their business to make it front page news and say that it's going to shut down potentially by April. They haven't made a decision. Yes, they're having a board meeting in October to decide about it, but there's just, you know, there's no decision being made. That's the facts, okay? And there's now probably 1,000 people worried about their jobs. So the Energy Minister, Lily D'Ambrosi, said she spoke to NG managers on Friday and was told nothing was definite. The short answer is no, she said. I heard about the speculation last night. I contacted the senior management of the company late yesterday, and their information was that they'd made no decision. So it is it's speculation. But having said that, boys, we all knew it's probably going to shut down within 10 years.
Correct. But you go back a couple of years, Dave, too, and Hazelwood was relied on heavily in a couple of those really hot summers to provide power for air conditioning. So, like you say, 25% is a huge chunk out of the
I reckon
grid.
people should go back, get rid of their big flat screen TVs, get rid of them, get the old valves back. Yeah. They'd really chew through the juice. But okay, so let's talk about what's what does that mean for the Barramundi fishery? Well, as far as I'm concerned, and the project group's concerned, is it's full bore ahead. There's 5,000 barramundi in there. They are approaching a really, really good size where the fishery will be open in December. So that's not going to stop.
Yep.
Could you imagine if those barramundi didn't go in there and they shut down the power station, there would be millions of tilapia dead, just floating. It would be a massive environmental cleanup if the barramundi weren't in there. It was just the tilapia. At least the barramundi are in there. And if the power station, whether it closes in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, let's just have a big Barra Classic and fish them out.
Well, that's right.
And so it's an easier cleanup. But do you know what? If we get 1, 2, 3 years out of this power station, we get 1, 2, 3 years of a massive tourism boom down in the city of Morwell and the Latrobe Valley. And it's just a great thing that we're doing it. We're not going to hold back. Let's see how it pans out with the decision about the power station. But seriously, it is full steam ahead. Barramundi will be caught in Victoria in December, and for how long we don't know. We thought it might have ended in 10 years. Whether it's 1, 2, 3 or 10, doesn't matter. We're going to have a great time in Victoria. Now, coming up next, Kramer's mailbag and plenty more on Talking Fishing.
Talking Fishing.
Make mine a Mornington.
G'day, David Kramer here. I'm a massive fan of the Mazda BT50, having personally driven and owned one for more than 5 years now. And to tell you what, you can't beat them for an all-round great ute and a great tow vehicle. Get into Mornington Mazda before the end of the month and grab yourself a run-out bargain. I made mine a Mornington Mazda.
Make mine a Mornington Mazda.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And just a little bit of mailbag this week, boys, and then we might get on to Hazelwood again, because you guys had some really relevant questions during the ad break, so we'll get back to that. First one from Warren. He sent in a photo that we're about to show you. Dropped into the Tannin Road ramp today and saw this. Someone's building a floating pontoon at Blue Rock Lake. There you go. That's the old boat. Remember, you used to have to launch your boat and then pull it up on the mud, and all that red mud would be all over your boat, all over your shoes. They're building a floating pontoon. There you go.
That's awesome.
Someone's doing that. So, well done. Thanks, Warren, for sending that in. Next one. G'day, Dave, Trelly, and Adam. I believe they should raise the bag limit of elephant fish to 3 fish. A possession limit daily bag of elephant fish, as they are a very tasty table fish when cleaned properly, just like gummy shark. The 1 a day bag limit is silly, as you will catch a few when you get onto them, and they are moving into the estuaries, so why not keep a feed? They are not huge fish, but they do give you a couple of fantastic fillets for a feed. Thanks, guys, and Fisheries, consider please, from Roy. So he's saying a bag limit of 3. And I agree.
That's right.
One's ridiculous.
Yeah. And Roy,
2.
If you could, there you go, I'm looking at the right one. Can you send us a Kramer's mailbag for next week on how you prepare an elephant fish for the table?
Yeah,
because I wouldn't have a clue.
No, that's right.
And yet, depending on who you ask, you get
horns,
trunk.
you get a mixed response on how good they are for the table. So
you do, actually,
I'd love to see a recipe.
There you go. Next mailbag. Neil McKenzie wrote in and he said, "Hi David, Adam, and of course Trelly. Of course. My beer batter recipe."
Hey.
There we go. We've got the battle of the beer batter again. My beer batter recipe is as follows: 3/4 of a cup of plain flour, 1 a half teaspoon of black pepper. People like putting pepper in their mix. 1 bottle of beer, any ale will do, or can be substituted with soda water. There you go. Yep. Combine the flour and pepper in a metal bowl. Slowly pour in beer or soda water, whisking until smooth. Place the bowl in the fridge freezer until it's chilled. Coat the fish in plain flour before battering and placing in hot oil. Fry until golden brown. Serving suggestion. He's gone on to a serving suggestion.
Oh, yeah. It's a must.
It just says something else that should be battered is Malcolm Turnbull. for even considering getting rid of... I'm just reading it as it is, Malcolm Turnbull. It says, for even considering getting rid of Channel 31. Love your show, keep up the good work. That is correct. As you heard, Channel 31 will be shutting down at the end of December this year because of Malcolm Turnbull's decision to take the licence off them. So there you go. No more fishing shows.
Do you want us to impersonate Talking Fishing in January?
Yeah. Okay, I'll let it in. And coming up on Talking Fishing in January. Nothing. There you go. I might have to start a campaign about that.
So there's another plain flour arrangement?
Yeah, so, all those years I've been using self-raising flour.
Yeah.
It never works, so... never works. Might go to plain flour. Sorry, a bit of news before we go back onto the Hazelwood thing. Sorry, I should mention this. If you'd like to write into Kramer's mailbag, this is what you do.
Send your mail to Kramer's Mailbag, PO Box 734, Patterson Lakes, Victoria 3197, or email kramer@ifish.com.au.
I just want to mention quickly, boys, the water level at Rocklands, they only update their website every Wednesday, I believe, and the level last Wednesday was 110,380 megalitres, and the trigger point is 116,000 megalitres. Now, with the flows going into it, I would dare say that it's probably just about hit the trigger point.
Yeah. Yep.
We'll know tomorrow, and we're really hoping for an announcement on next week's program about how much water and when we'll be going into Toolondo from Rocklands Reservoir. So there you go, just a quick update on that. Yep. Now, boys, back onto Hazelwood, you had a couple of questions.
Yep. Yeah, why would they shut it down? That's probably the biggest question. Why are we even having this conversation?
Yeah, look, a couple of things. Brown coal versus black coal. Brown coal has and I'm playing scientist here, has a higher moisture content and produces more carbon into the air, so that's not a good thing. It is the dirtiest, if you like, polluting.
And it is a brown coal.
It's a brown coal fight, and there is billions of tons of brown coal. I mean, that's the problem, is that there's all this energy in the ground that could keep running for 100 years, but it's very polluting, and politically, I guess everyone wants to see that shut down and clean energy introduced. So that's the main reason. I think from memory, the plant was built in 1953 or 63, one of those. So it's a very old plant, so very, very old technology.
So what happens if they do shut it down? Does Morwell basically just literally become a hole in the ground?
No, well, there's. Well, so the mine, the Hazelwood mine. I mean, one of the things they're talking about is just letting it fill up with water and creating a lake.
Well,
a bit deep lake.
Yeah.
With mines, all mines.
What, fill them up with water?
Just fill with water and put fish in them.
What about, the mines that do iron ore and gold and stuff like that? Just fill them up with water? When you finish with them. I thought you meant now. Just fill every mine in Australia with water and go fishing.
No, when you finish with them.
We could do that on Gone Fishing Day. Everyone get their garden hose out and fill up every mine in Australia. So look, there is some good reasons to shut it down, I guess, but... and it's not about fishing, because they're not going to keep it running for fishing. I had one of the local papers down there ring me today for an interview and talk about the fishing. I said, it's not about the fishing, it's about the jobs, it's about what that does to the local economy. There's a couple of other power stations around Morwell that will keep going and will generate enough power, so they say. So,
be tested.
And a plant like that does need a lot of maintenance. It needs upgrade to new technology and so forth and that. So, at the end of the day, when power was privatised in Victoria, companies are running these as a profitable business. If it becomes non-profitable, then they've got to make some decisions for their shareholders, and probably in this case, their shareholders are all French.
So what are we going to stock it with if it's not warm anymore?
Well, in the meantime, we're turning tilapia into barramundi droppings.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, and fat gut. They're all getting fat guts.
Yeah,
so
barramundi.
Yeah, just stay tuned. I think
I'm sure there'll be a lot more that comes to this.
Yeah, look, it's really not worth debating too much now. I mean, if they come out and say, "Yep, we're going to shut it in 10 years' time," then let's just enjoy the next 10 years of fishing for barramundi.
But the facts are, come December, we're going to be catching barramundi in Victoria, mate. It doesn't matter what happens.
If the shock decision was made to shut it down in April, then. It's going to be one hell of a. That's going to be one hell of a Barra Classic in about March, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And whether they're edible or not, I mean, still all that work's still being done, so that'll all come out in the wash as we get there. And if they're going to be fished out, they're going to be fished out. But we've always said all the way along, we've never ever hidden from that in 10 years' time, if it's shut down, because that's where we thought it might have been. It's time to fish them out, get them out, and they're also big fish. I mean, those small tilapia, some of them are only a couple of centimetres. Well, I mean, they're breeding in their millions. So, the tilapia keeps their young in their mouth. Well, it sounds pretty disgusting, but they keep their young in their mouth. So they have all these little babies inside their mouth. I mean, so imagine trying to net them out, because that's really the only way to get them out. So,
you a couple of girls like that.
Wouldn't want to cough.
Mothers. Probably keep the young in their mouth.
Wrap it up, Dave, quick.
Oh dear. Yeah, all right.
We might not make it to December 31.
I was just trying to think about things. Just back on the quick subject before we go to another break. Daylight saving, you mentioned it earlier in the show, starts this Sunday night. Isn't it so good to be able to go fishing after work? And you just chuck the boat in the water at 5 o'clock or 5:30 when you finish work, and you got 4 hours of fishing. It's
Life
fantastic.
just feels better.
Exactly.
Life just feels better when it's light longer.
I know.
It does.
Yeah.
And it's light in the morning now, boys. So
exactly.
I want to keep sleeping when it's 5 o'clock and already sun's up. So anyway, coming up this week's hotspots, and we discuss the long weekend next on Talking Fishing.
Talking Fishing.
G'day, Callan here from Paul Worsling's Tackle World Kramer. Supercharged batteries have been supplying maintenance-free marine batteries since 2001. The Seamaster Gold range is second to none, delivering superior starting power and reserve capacity. No need to top up with water, truly a fit and forget battery. With up to 2 years replacement warranty, you know you have quality. Your battery is your lifeline. Without it, you're dead in the water because it's bloody hard to push start. I've got a Seamaster battery in my boat. Make yours a Seamaster Gold today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And now the segment you've all been waiting for, Fishing Hotspots. Get on them, it's where the fish are.
Great to see Richie Minnow on the screen again. But just before we get into the hotspots, a very important message just came from our production booth that we probably won't need to worry about it, because apparently in today's...
Worry about what?
Oh, worry about Hazelwood shutting down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Don't want to get back on Hazelwood. But apparently Hillary Clinton in the debate with Donald Trump today said a man who gets upset by one tweet shouldn't have the codes to the nukes. So we might have to worry about Hazelwood shutting down.
It'll be warm forever.
No, we're on his side.
You're on his side?
Well, we're on his side. The Americans, Australians,
Oh, yeah.
The war effort.
Yeah.
So,
Jeez. What's going to happen? It's going to be interesting, isn't it? Yeah. All right, let's get into the hot spots. If you're over in that Geelong region, there's some fantastic snapper being caught. Just check out Trelly's fishing report. Clifton Springs, some beautiful snapper alongside the Point Richards channel.
Correct.
And some cracker fish up around that 10 kilo mark, Trelly.
Getting some nice, consistent catches there too. So just pick the weather. But it's nice catches over there.
Great catches.
Really
and
nice.
I was talking to Mick today about the amount of snapper coming in, and go and talk to Mick in Tackle World Geelong. He'll give you all the goss about where exactly to go. Over on the eastern seaboard of Port Phillip Bay, off Frankston, try 14 metres of water. There is some cracker snapper starting to appear there. Good new season fish around that 5 kilo mark. 5 or 6 kilo, and you've only got to have a look on Lynette Hogan and Trevor Hogan's page of Launching Way to see some of the fish coming in virtually every day now. So
and 14 metres, great tip. Everyone wants to go deep this time of year.
No, don't go deep. Don't go deep. No. Let's keep it land-based. Flinders Pier. There is just some absolutely thumping calamari coming from the Flinders Pier. Add some best tips on jigs. What do you use down there?
Big jigs. So 3s and 3.5s. You've got a bit of current to contend with down there. Colours, white, red, black. There's been the squid jigs have just been walking off the shelf at the moment because we've had one of the best calamari seasons we've had in a long, long time. So be armed with a few different colours. They can move and change with the tide, so best to be armed, but jigs, big jigs, and don't forget baits. Long rods. A lot of guys have got the surf
Bait
rods
under a
out.
float.
That's right, with a weighted caster float or a little glitter bug float, and a nice big silver whiting underneath.
There you go. And tide-wise, try and pick you around your high tide. A lot more water around the Flinders Pier, around that high tide, and some beautiful weed beds to cast too. So great place for this weekend if you're not going to watch the grand final on Saturday. Go down to Flinders Pier, catch yourself a calamari. Let's stick to Western Port for a little bit, and Coronella has got to be the capital for snapper right now. If there's one place that you could say you're guaranteed to catch a snapper,
that'll be it.
Well, if Scotty Harper can catch them, anyone can catch them. There's plenty of snapper around that Coronella area, and like we mentioned earlier on, the car park was full the other day. You just need to get out there nice and early, get your car park and get out on the water because snapper fever has hit Coronella.
What time would you suggest?
4
o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
Pure and simply so you can get your boat in before sunrise.
Charlie, it's already started. It's started. The car parks are filling up now, so you just got to do it. I heard a story, and we just had to make this a hotspot. Portland. I heard one charter boat operator got 11 barrels last week.
What?
11 barrels. Reliable source.
Wow.
I don't know whether people have stopped talking about it. I mean, there's one in everyone's report at the moment, fishing report, but people have just stopped talking about it. I mean, people are starting to think snapper. They're going trout, they're doing all this. 11 barrels by one charter operator out of Portland last week.
Wow.
Far out.
I thought you were going to say something else then. But plenty of... So get down there. Seriously, if you've got the time, head down there, because now is the best opportunity to get yourself a barrel. And right up the other end of the state, if you want to catch yourself a nice bream, there's no place right now. If you're heading away for the long weekend this weekend, go to Meetung. Some beautiful bream around Meetung at the moment.
That whole Gippy Lake's going off.
It's nice country.
Brendan from Tackle World in Morwell sent me a text on the way in tonight with a few photos. He's been getting a few bream and flathead from Gippy Lakes on little strata zoo, so little prawn imitation hard body.
Yep.
Beautiful fish, great condition fish. Yep. So if you're in... Well, if you're going to suss out Hazelwood, go and see Brendan, Tackle World Morwell. He'll point you in the right direction to where these bream are getting caught, because he is getting it done.
Nice. There you go. Plenty of people do go away this long weekend.
They do.
And we're calling it a long weekend because it is now. It's the second year of the new long weekend. And a lot of criticism, boys, about Friday being a public holiday. Trelly. Now... No, in all seriousness, I came out last year and said in many circles that I thought it was a good thing for us. Now, obviously, we run fishing tackle businesses. That's the way it is. And we saw a lot of people coming through the shops on a Thursday and buying all their fishing gear to go away for the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They can still watch the grand final on TV, and they can also go away for a long weekend. A lot of people took advantage of that. On Friday was a very big day with people coming in early. Yeah. And getting all the fishing gear to go away. So
that's right.
Trelly, your opinion on the public holiday?
Well, I'm not too sure who was actually decided. They were trying to kick a goal.
Yeah.
But they missed, didn't they? They missed. They put a public holiday on the day. It's not even grand final.
No.
It's on Friday.
Yeah.
Well, then they make it Saturday.
Make Saturday the public holiday.
Yeah.
But almost everyone's got the day off anyway.
Yeah, but they missed, didn't they? Only got a point. Was that Daniel Andrews did that? Hope there's not a fire at his place.
Oh, dear. Can I just make this point, because I always make this point, that a few years ago, Jeff Kennett took away show day.
Yeah.
If they had reinstated a day off, a public holiday, and called it show day, right, because the Melbourne show's still on right now, I think.
No,
yeah, I think it's still on.
Yeah, it finishes tomorrow, actually.
Yeah. So if they made tomorrow a public holiday and called it show day, would everyone have applauded and said, great, we've got it back?
No, you can't do that. It's on a Wednesday.
Missed again.
Oh, dear.
But you're right. Yeah.
But I think show day used to be a Thursday, didn't it? Someone will email us or Facebook us.
Friday. Yeah.
No, I reckon show day was a Thursday.
Never remember it.
And then what happened is everyone took the Friday off as well.
Yeah,
and so you had Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. I'm pretty sure that's how it was. People tell us from
So you're trying to say the grand final public holiday should be on a Thursday?
No, I'm saying if they didn't call it... Well, they don't even have a name for the day, do they?
No, well, it's
grand final weekend.
It's grand final weekend.
Grand final long weekend.
We don't care what it's
So
called.
it doesn't have a day.
Yeah.
But if they'd have called
we don't.
Yeah, we
Thursday show day, then we would have had 4 days off because everyone taken RDO on a Friday.
Yeah, that's.
I think they should have. I think they should have.
We lock in Thursday.
They should have a good hard look at themselves and create a 4-day weekend. So anyway, there you go. That's my opinion. I reckon it's great for everybody. It's great for families getting away. It's great for fishing.
It is
because everyone's got a good sniff. You know, so and daylight savings. You know, that starts on Sunday, and that's going to be good. So, boys, just that reminded me something. Our good mate Gaz, just call him Gaz for now. He got down to Devil Bend last week. And had the old fly rod out, and Gaz is going to Cook Island soon, so he's practicing his casting. And he got some estuary perch, and he said they are almost legal size now. So last year, every single fish was 23 centimetres. Now, what would legal be for an estuary perch? 27?
Put me on the spot. No
27, I think. I think it's 27. He's saying that they're approaching, so which makes sense from last summer to now. They've probably grown about another 3 or 4 centimetres. So if you want to do yourself a favour, and as the water gets warmer and as the days get longer, get down to Devil Bend late in the afternoon, a bit of fly fishing or even lure fishing, hard bodies, get out there, estuary perch there everywhere. And when they get to that size, they're starting to pull hard, boys. That 27 centimetres pulls really good.
The fly's good.
Exactly.
A bit of a resurgence, the fly fishing.
Yeah, absolutely it has.
It's going well.
Boys, it's time to go. Sorry, that's it for Talking Fishing. We hope you enjoyed the show. Next week, we hope to have an announcement on a water transfer from Rocklands to Toolondo. The footy will all be over, and it's time to get serious about fishing. We'll talk snapper tips and plenty more. Until we see you again on Talking Fishing, please stay safe on the water and enjoy your fishing.
Go the dogs.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. We got all you need, just take a look. Watch those fish jump on your hook. So just relax and take your time. Enjoy the show, then drop us a line. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing.
Have a good weekend, Mr. Walker.
You too, son.